Shalom, Zion. Want to give all praises to the Most High Yah, and I pray that you all had a blessed and delightful Shabbat. So I get tons of videos from Hebrews who send me different kinds of videos, and I get a lot of them, so I don't really have a lot of time to check all of them. But this particular one really caught my attention. Now, this person's name is Marianne Williamson. Now, she's apparently running for the 2020 presidential elections. Now, that tells you how much I really know about politics, because I don't keep up with none of that stuff, and I wouldn't even known about this video unless someone sent it to me. So now get this, Zion. She's been recorded. She's in this church, and she's asking, like she's literally apologizing and asking all the descendants of Hebrew slaves to accept their being the heathens, the ones who kept us in captivity. She is asking us, the descendants of Hebrew slaves, to accept their apology. Now, that's what she's doing. Now, I find that so funny because, I get tired of these politicians play on words. They use us as a scapegoat. And, and I guarantee you're going to have a lot of our people who are going to hear this. And they're going to be like, you know what? I accept their apology. Yeah, let's take her in among us. Here's my black skin. You can have it. And that's how ignorant our black people are. It's just they hear something like this and they just roll over. They just belly up and accept it. It's crazy. So here, this heathen, she's apologizing. She's not even sorry about what happened. She can care less about our people. She can care less about her own people. She's just trying to win the 2020 election. That's all it is, Zion. It's play on words. It's politics one-on-one. She can give a 2 cents about what their people did to our people. They can care less, Zion. I'm just telling you that for a fact. So I want you to check out this clip. Check out this crazy clip. We're going to come right back.
As I speak, I'm going to ask the white Americans in the room to please repeat after me. On behalf of myself and on behalf of my country, to you and all African Americans, from the beginning of our nation's history, in honor of your ancestors and on behalf of your children, please hear this from my heart. I apologize. Please forgive us. With this prayer, I acknowledge the depth of the evils that have been perpetrated against black people in America. From slavery to lynchings to white supremacist laws to the denial of voting rights to all the ways, both large and small, all of them evil, all of them wrong, for all the oppression and all of the injustices. I apologize. Please forgive us.
Now, y'all hear this heathen. She says, please forgive us. We are sorry. Well, I got news for you, heathen. Apology not accepted. Which, here's a much better plan that the Most High is going to preserve for us. We're going to take your sons and daughters for handmaids and servants for 1,000 years. That's going to be our reparations. So you can keep your apologies and you can keep your reparations. And Zion, let me tell you something. This is the same heathen that's talking about reparations for the descendants of slaves, of Hebrew slaves. You really think that they're going to give us reparations in this time and day? Zion, it's all talk. Do not be fooled by that. All this rumor, all this talk about that, Think about it, Zion. Let's use our heads. If they truly were sorry about what their ancestors did, we would have had reparations a long time ago. It would have been settled. If they were so concerned about the descendants of Hebrew slaves, they would have given us land. We would have been had our 40 acre and a mule, and we would all be getting paid. We would all have our just due. But no, Zion, they don't care about that. I'm telling you, they're using us for political gains. They've been doing it for a long time, Zion. And you know, our people, we keep falling for it. Now, flashback to the 60s, to the civil rights movement. You know, when a lot of our so-called black people gave up their businesses to integrate with the whites. Now, do you really think that the heathens will give up their businesses? Of course not. So they proved to be smarter than us, but we're the ones who always sell out. You know, Zion, we have a very, very bad habit of just falling for anything. And now here, this heathen talking about, please accept our apologies. Please forgive us. We're sorry. No, there has not been no recompense for the Most High's children. Go to Romans chapter 12 and verse 19. And it says, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay. You hear that? I will repay, says Yahuwah. Because see, we don't have the might to go out and destroy our enemies. We don't have the military might. We don't have the economical might. We don't have the political might. So the Most High is going to avenge his people, because see, these people think that they can just come and, hey, say, forgive us. And you know what? And they know that a lot of our people are going to do it, and then they can just walk away, you know, feeling guilt-free. But I got news for them, Zion. They're going to be in for a very big surprise. So this crazy presidential candidate thinks that she's going to get some votes by saying what she said, apologizing for what her ancestors did. Like that's supposed to just clean away all the guilt that they have done. Like that's going to make everything right. And you know, our people, we love to intermingle with them so much. It's become such a norm. You know, speaking of that, and now, did you all know that technically no heathens should be worshiping among us, period. Not in our feast or worship. They should not be worshiping with us. Now, a lot of people got it wrong, because you got these Hebrew organizations and they got all kind of heathens in there, uplifting them, calling them Israelites. But let me show you something. Go to Exodus. Go to Exodus 12. And I'm going to show you verse 44. And it says, but every man's servant that is bought for money, when you have circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. Now, do we own any heathens right now, Zion? We are in captivity. We are in captivity. And now it would make sense when we read in Isaiah that we're going to take them for handmaids and servants. But they are not supposed to be worshiping among us. You know, we bring them on our feast days. And, you know, how are you going to be in captivity? We're in captivity by the same enemies, and you got them at your dinner table. And see, we got it backwards, because Christianity, Zion, is a hell of a drug. And this awakening, what I'm seeing, Zion, and I don't really call it awakening, because many people are coming out of Christianity with the mindset of an Israelite, but they still are pagan worshipers. Just like when Lot's wife was coming out of Sodom, she loved the city so much, but you know, she wanted to leave. She did what her husband said, but when she turned and looked back, her heart was still connected to Sodom. And that's the way a lot of our people are. Their heart is still connected to religion. It's in us. For some reason, it's been bred in us. And so it's so normal to look at our enemies and intermingle among them, because we don't know any better. We think that's the right thing to do. We think that's love. But we have been fooled. The world has lied to us. Everybody has lied to us. And we've been doing things completely backwards. And you see the world and some of these so-called awakened Hebrews have these heathens duped and fooled, thinking that they can do all the evil in the world, and then all of a sudden their slate is going to be wiped clean, and they're going to be together with all the Hebrews, and we're going to just sing Kumbaya and just have a good time, and no foul, no harm, no foul. That's the mindset of a lot of our people. So let's go to Isaiah chapter 14, and let's look at verses 1. It says, "For Yahuwah will have mercy on Yaquab, and will yet choose Yasharel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Yaquab," or Jacob. And I'm going to prove to you that this is also talking about the future. Verse 2, "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Yasharel shall possess them in the land of Yahuwah for servants and handmaids." That's going to be the time where we own them, Zion. But right now, we don't own heathens, so they cannot worship amongst us. Read that part again, verse 2. "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Yasharel shall possess them in the land of Yahuwah for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives," whose captives they were. We were once their captives, right? Babylonian captivity, the Medes and the Persians, the Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Arab slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade, this current captivity, says, "And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors." That means that this is coming, Zion. We're going to rule over our oppressors. It ain't going to be no equals. We're going to be on top, and we're going to rule over our oppressors. Verse 3, "And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahuwah shall give you rest from your sorrow." Now, Zion, we are coming up on our 7,000 year, all right? And I'm going to do a lesson later on about that. But that Genesis 15:13, 15:12 that everybody's always comparing, the 16:19 to 2019, that has nothing, that verse in Genesis has nothing to do with a future 400-year prophecy, Zion. Has nothing to do with it. I'm going to prove that to you for a fact, and I'm going to do a lesson in June 2020. Now, you may be saying, "Well, how come you can't do it now?" Because if I do the lesson now, Zion, you're not going to hear me. It's going to go in one ear and out the other, and you're going to classify me as a false prophet. So I'm going to wait until June of 2020. I'm going to prove to you that Genesis 15:12 and 13 and 14 was talking about, it already happened, Zion. It's the time from the call of Abraham to the law of Moses. But I'm going to show you all that. But let's get back to this right here. I'm going to read this verse 3 again. And it says, "And it shall come to pass in the day that Yahuwah shall give you rest from your sorrow, and from your feet, and from the hard bondage wherein you were made to serve." He's talking about the seeds, all the seeds of Israel who were in captivity. Now, how do I know this is talking about the future? Let's jump down to verse 7 of Isaiah 14. It says, "The whole earth is at rest." That's going to be during the 1,000 years, Zion, when Hamashiach comes back. It says, "The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing." That has never happened, Zion. At what time was the whole earth at rest? Maybe right after creation, before Adam and Eve sinned, but it's not talking about that. Let me read that again, Zion. This is very important that you get this. Verse 7, "The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing." That's going to be that 1,000 year of Shabbat, Zion. And verse 8, it says, "Yea, the fir trees rejoice at you, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, Since you are laid down, no feller is come up against us." See, Zion, the whole nature is waiting for us to get our acts together, because the earth is tired, Zion. We're almost at our 7,000 years. whenever that's going to be, but it's going to be on time, Zion. It's not going to be this year or next year. I guarantee you that. It's going to be when the Most High fulfills the rest of these prophecies. That 7,000 years is going to be on time, Zion. He's going to come. And we're going to be in a 1,000 year of Shabbat rest, Zion. It's going to be a beautiful thing. That's going to be our wilderness. And so that's going to be a future lesson. But I want to stick with what I'm doing because I'm talking about this election. These heathens think that they're going to get away with murder, Zion. No, they're going into captivity. They're going to be our captives. We're going to be over our oppressors this time. But see, they don't want to face that, and they're not going to tell you that. And the moment you bring up stuff like slavery and oppression and things like that, they want to pull the race card. They want to tell you to get over it. They want to tell you to pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. You know, they act like you're the racist for bringing it up. You know, how crazy is that? And I guarantee you let us do something to them. You think that they would accept our apologies, Zion? You would be a fool to think that they would accept your apologies. They would put you through the ringer, chew you up and spit you out and wouldn't think twice about it. But the Most High is slowly but surely turning the tables. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 30 and let's look at verse 16. Jeremiah 30 and 16. It says, "Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey." And so this thing is serious, Zion, but we've turned it around and made light of it. You know, we want to join with every single nation on the face of the earth except for ours. And for some reason, we're proud of it. We're proud of that. And we're doing the same very thing that has put us in the bondage in the first place, mingling with the other nations. When will it ever end, Zion? And time is running out. We better get our acts together, Zion, or we're going to find ourselves wanting. And we're going to be the ones gnashing and wailing of teeth of a lot of our people. All right, let's go back to Isaiah chapter 14. Isaiah chapter 14, and let's look at verses 21 and 22. We want to show you that there's no escape for these generational heathens that exist today. So starting with verse 21, it says, "Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers." I don't think you caught that one. Let me read that again. It says, "Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers." Now, you know how the heathens love to say, every time we bring up slavery or slavery is mentioned, "Well, I wasn't there. How you going to punish me for something that I didn't do?" That's what they love to say. "Well, I'm not going to apologize for being white." That's what they say. "I'm not going to apologize for being white. I wasn't there in slavery. I didn't harm your ancestors." But you are the seed of your forefathers. We had to suffer for the sins of our forefathers. Guess what? You heathens are going to suffer heavily for the sins of your forefathers. So you can get off that mess that "I wasn't there." You are the seed of your forefathers. You are responsible. And payment is going to be due. So just get ready for it. You can't escape it. You can't run from it. Just accept it. Read that again, verse 21. "Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise." Y'all hear that? "That they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the whole earth for a whole world with cities." Now you look around you now on all these beautiful cities across the world. They're not going to be able to do that, Zion, because everything is going to be desolate. Everything's going to be destroyed. Verse 22. "For I will rise up against them, says Yahuwah Sebaoth, and cut off from Babel the name and remnant and son and nephew, says Yahuwah." So Zion, they're not going to be able to escape. So to this presidential candidate named Marianne Williamson, you can forget it. You can apologize all you want. You heathens can apologize all you want. It does not matter. Just you know what? Keep your apologies. Just stop apologizing. Just claim who you are And just be good with that. All right? Because, you heathens always trying to worm your way out of stuff, trying to make excuses for why this and why that, and then you complain and moan and groan. Just accept it and stop apologizing. We don't even need to hear it. Stop talking about reparations, because we know it's not going to happen. We're going to get our reparations. The Most High is going to avenge his people, and it's going to be well worth it. Now, for us, Zion, this is why we need to be doing all we can to keep these laws, commandments, and statutes, Zion. That should be our main and number one focus. All right? Because until we do that, we're not going to be able to love our own brothers and sisters. We're going to continue down this crazy road of just witchcraft and rebellion. We got to keep these commandments, Zion. I can't stress that enough. All right, let me tell you what else the heathens are going to be doing. So let's go to Isaiah 61. Isaiah 61 and 5 through 7. It says, "And strangers shall stand and feed your flock, and the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. But ye shall be named the priest of Yahuwah. Men shall call you the ministers of our Elohim. Ye shall eat the riches of the other nations, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves." Y'all hear that, Zion? So in other words, as we were in slavery and as we did all this stuff for them, they boasted because of our works. Everything that they have now is built off the backs of slaves, off the backs of descendants of Hebrew slaves. So now the Most High is going to turn the tables, and now we're going to brag off of their work. You got your servants, you got your heathen dressing your vineyards and planting your plow. You're going to get the credit for it, not them. Let's continue. It says, "For your shame ye shall have double." You hear that? For your shame ye shall have double. So Zion, if it seems like you're struggling right now, seems like it's hard, hang on, Zion. It's going to be worth it, because you can't see what the Most High has prepared for his people. It's hard to see because we're looking at the outer, and this captivity got us down, and it's hard for us to find jobs because this is not our kingdom. And so we have to, it's like we're forced. We have to do our own little businesses, whatever we can do to support each other's and everything, and that's very well delightful to do, because we have to support our own family, because nobody else is going to do it for us, Zion. And we are all we have, because nobody else is going to do anything for us, Zion. So don't waste your time expecting that. All right. It says, "For your shame ye shall have double, and for your confusion," I'll read that again. "For your shame ye shall have double, and for confusion they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore in their land they shall possess the double. Everlasting joy shall be unto them." Everlasting joy, Zion. That hasn't happened yet. Everlasting joy. Okay? So just get ready for it. So I'm just telling you, Zion, these heathens think they getting away scot-free. No, Zion. We ain't seen nothing yet. Now, let's go to Leviticus chapter 25, and we're going to read verses 45 through 46, because I'm going to show you another witness, Zion, that heathens are not allowed to worship among us unless we have bought them or either own them. And nobody can say that they own any heathens in this current day, Zion. Technically, they own us because we're still in captivity. So let's go to Leviticus 25, 45 through 46. It says, "Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy." You hear that? Buy. "And of their families that are with you, which they begat you in the land, and they shall be your possession." Remember, we read also in Exodus 12 that they could not be among us, worship among us, unless they've been bought, Zion. Then it goes on to say, "And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. They shall be your bondmen forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule one over another with rigor." So, we're not supposed to be ruling over one another. That's why we were not supposed to have kings, Zion, because the Most High did not want us bound down to our own people. But this was proof right here, Zion, that in order for a stranger or a heathen to worship among you or be among you, they had to be bought and they became your possession. Then and only then can a heathen worship among you, but they are your bondman, they are your servant. So Zion, we've been doing it wrong all this time, and we haven't even been paying attention, but yet we're blending with all these heathens, thinking that's okay. You don't own no heathens, Zion. So think about that. And these heathens got the nerves to think that the truly awakened is just going to belly up and accept your apologies. You owe us, and payment is due. We're going to own you, and we're going to possess you, and you're going to be our servants and handmaids. So keep your apologies. And for this Marianne Williamson broad, you can go straight to hell with your apologies and your reparations. We'll take your sons and daughters for handmaids and servants for 1,000 years. How about that? So Zion, don't let these folks fool you. The Most High will avenge his people. Shalom and stay strong.
Gotta thank Yahweh for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah and the faith of Mashiach. Whoa, yeah. I gotta thank Yahweh for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah and the faith of the Mashiach. Oh, yeah, whoa. I'm here to encourage you, brothers and sisters, trying to paint to you a better picture. Everything I say, I back it up with the scriptures to get you out the matrix. It's been over 400 years of life. You gotta open up your eyes, 'cause there's so many reasons we in captivity. You gotta flee from the heathens. There is hope in our future, even though they trying to do us in. But we live to fight another day. Vengeance is Yah. We'll be praying for Yahweh. I gotta thank Yahweh for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Whoa. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah, and the faith of Mashiach. Whoa, 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 yeah, yeah. I gotta thank Yahweh for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah and the faith of the Mashiach. Whoa, whoa, hey, hey, whoa, whoa, do do da da da, do be do be do be do do da da, do be do 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 da da, do 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 da do, be do da do 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 da 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 da, do be do be do 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 da 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 da.